Hello, my name is Christian Nielsen. I'm coordinator of worship arts and online engagement here at Good Samaritan United Methodist Church in Edina, Minnesota. My pronouns are he and him. It's an honor to be with you wherever or whenever you may be watching this special Good Friday worship service. We start this week with loud hosannas and celebration of laying coats down before Jesus as he has his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. And here we are, at the deepest and darkest moments of the story. It's sometimes tempting to look away from the darkness and focus instead on the celebration that's to come. But how can we truly appreciate and understand the light unless we find it through darkness? Poet Anne Weems reminds us that on this darkest of days, each of us must stand beneath the tree and watch the dying, if we are to be there when the stone is rolled away. The only road to Easter morning is through the unrelenting shadows of that Friday. For this service, we're going to be participating in an ancient Christian tradition of Stations of the Cross, which takes us through Jesus' trial, carrying the cross, his crucifixion, his death, and his laying in the tomb. As we do this, we're going to be engaging in a practice called Visio Divina, or holy seeing. In Visio Divina, we use visual images as a way to pray and meditate on a subject and allow the holy to speak directly to our hearts. Throughout Lent, we've been exploring prayer practices, and this is perhaps one of the most powerful. I'm grateful that we'll also be exploring this story with the assistance of many musicians and readers in our Good Samaritan community, along with some talented guests. In seeking artwork for our Good Friday Visio Divina, I was instantly struck by the work of Audrey Anastasi. There's an immediacy to the images, which for me stirred strong emotions. The images feel very in the moment and evoke a deep sense of separation, of sorrow, of suffering, and of cruelty. Her images leave room for the imagination, and the intentional vagueness of the characters allows each of us to see ourselves in the narrative. Anastasi intentionally paints with her non-dominant hand. While this takes away some of the ability to be precise, it seems to bring her focus toward capturing the details around the emotions of her subjects. She says her left hand follows an intuitive route of exploration. As a musician who loves improvisation, this resonates with me. Anastasi says, "For me, creating the series was an intuitive, spontaneous process, with the images flowing quickly and directly, without premeditation and without reference to sketches or photos." She says, "I had a deep sense of the gravity of the subject, the saddest journey to sacrifice and redemption. Whether one believes in a literal or symbolic interpretation, this is a moving and inspiring story of profound dignity in the face of injustice and horrific cruelty. I did not want to paint a detached illustration of events, but rather a suite of images that would touch deep emotions. I hope her images will speak to you as they speak to me." We have 2 copies of her book that has the stations in it in our library. If these images speak to you, or even if they trouble you, I invite you to sit with this book in a quiet space. The original works are installed in the oratory of St. Boniface Roman Catholic Church in Brooklyn, New York. As we move into a place of prayerful meditation, I invite you to take a deep breath in and then out as you open yourself to this experience. As you encounter the sounds and images, be mindful of your breathing or any bodily sensations you may feel. I encourage you to allow yourselves to be open to whatever thoughts or feelings may arise. Do you see yourself in these images? Do you see others? If so, where? Do you feel the sacred speaking to you through these images, through the music, through the readings? Do these images speak to any issues in the present day I invite you to ponder those things, or to completely ignore them and experience the elements of this service in your own way. Welcome to worship.
You will know this blessing by how it does not stay still, by the way it refuses to rest in one place. You will recognize it by how it takes first one form, then another. Now running down the face of the mother who watches the breaking of the child she had born. Now in the stance of the woman who followed him here and will not leave him bereft. Now it twists in anguish on the mouth of the friend whom he loved. Now it bears itself in the wound, the cry, the finishing and final breath. This blessing is not in any one of these alone. It is what binds them together. It is what dwells in the space between them, though it be torn and gaping. It is what abides in the tear the rending makes.
Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. And the soldiers wore a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they dressed him in a purple robe. They kept coming up to him, saying, "Hail the king," and striking him on the face. Pilate went out again and said to them, "Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no case against him." So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Here is the man." When the chief priests and the police saw him, they shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and crucify him. I find no case against him."
When Pilate heard these words, he led Jesus out and seated him on the judge's bench at a place called Stone Pavement. It was about noon on preparation day for the Passover. Pilate said to the religious leaders, "Here's your king." "We have no king except our emperor," the chief priests answered. The soldiers took Jesus prisoner. Carrying his cross by himself, he went out to a place called Skull Kingdom, in Aramaic Golgotha.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul. What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of life to lay aside his crown for my soul, for my soul, to lay aside his crown for my soul. To God and to the Lamb I will sing, I will sing. To God and to the Lamb I will sing. To God and to the Lamb who is the great I am, while millions join the theme, I will sing, I will sing. 2 millions join the theme, I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I will sing, I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be. And through eternity I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And through eternity I'll sing on.
It was certainly our sickness that he carried and our sufferings that he bore. But we thought him afflicted, struck down by God and tormented. He was pierced because of our rebellions and crushed because of our crimes. He bore the punishment that made us whole. By his wounds we are healed. Like sheep, we had all wandered away, each going its own way. But the Lord let fall on him all our crimes.
Meanwhile, standing near the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing beside her, he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her into his own home. And Mary stood beside the cross, her soul pierced with the selfsame wound that rent his side, who hung thereon. She watched him as he died. Her son saw him paying the cruel toll exacted by the law and unbelief, since he their evil had dared defy. There stood the mother helpless in her grief beside the cross and saw her firstborn die. How many mothers in how many lands have bowed with Mary in her agony, in silence borne the wrath of war's commands, when every hill is made a Calvary. O pity, Lord, these mothers of the slain, and grant their dead shall not have died in vain.
As they led Jesus away, they grabbed a man from Cyrene who was coming in from the countryside. They put a cross on his back and made him carry it behind Jesus.
I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me on the long pilgrim journey. Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me.
In my trials, Lord, walk with me, walk with me. In my trials, Lord, walk with me, walk with me. When my heart is almost breaking, Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me, walk with me.
Now we see a reflection in a mirror. Then we will see face to face. Now I know partially, but then I will know completely in the same way that I have been completely known. Now faith, hope, and love remain. These three things. And the greatest of these is love.
I am hunched over, completely down. I wander around all day long, sad. My insides are burning up. There's nothing in my body that isn't broken. I'm worn out, completely crushed. I groan because of my miserable heart. Everything I long for is laid out before you, my Lord. My sighs aren't hidden from you. My heart pounds. My strength abandons me. Even the light of my eyes is gone.
A great number of the people followed him, and among them were women who were beating their breasts and wailing for him. But Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Only if we have tasted despair, only if we have known the deep sadness of unfulfilled dreams and promises, only if we can dare to look reality in the face and name it for what it is, can we dare to begin to imagine a better way. Hope is subversive precisely because it dares to admit that all is not as it should be. And so we are holding out for, working for, creating, prophesying, and living into something better, for the kingdom to come, for oaks of righteousness to tower, for leaves to blossom, for the healing of the nations, for swords to be beaten into plowshares, for joy to come in the morning, and for redemption and justice.
They went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took with him Peter and James and John, and began to be distressed and agitated. And then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even in death. Remain here. Keep awake."
When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his clothes and divided it into 4 parts, one for each soldier. They also took his tunic. Now the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from the top. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it to see who will get it." This was to fulfill what the scripture says. They divided my clothing among themselves, and for my clothing they cast lots. And that is what the soldiers did.
I was there when they crucified my Lord. I held the scabbard as the soldier drew his sword. I threw the dice as they pierced his side. But I've seen love conquer the great divide.
When they came to the place that is called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they cast lots to divide his clothing. And the people stood by watching. But the leaders scoffed at him, saying, "He saved others. Let him save himself if he is the Messiah of God, his chosen one." The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine and saying, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was also an inscription over him, "This is the King of the Jews."
It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land, until 3 in the afternoon, while the sun's light failed, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last.
This day upon the bitter tree died one who, had he willed, could have dried up the wide sea and the wind stilled. And when at the 9th hour he surrendered the ghost, his face was a faded flower, drooping and lost. Who then was not afraid, targeted heart and eye, struck as with darts by Godhead in human agony? For him who with a cry could shatter, if he willed, the sea and earth and sky, and them rebuild. Who chose amid the tumult of the darkening sky a chivalry more difficult as man to die. What answering meed of love can this frail flesh return that is not all unworthy of the God I mourn?
After this, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate if he could take away the body of Jesus. Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but a secret one because he feared the authorities. Pilate gave him permission, so he came and took the body away.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
Nicodemus, who had first come to Jesus by night, also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. They took the body of Jesus and wrapped it with the spices in a linen cloth, according to the burial custom of the Jews. Now there was a garden in the place where he was crucified, and in the garden there was a new tomb in which no one had ever been laid. And so, because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble.